Hello everyone, it's me Max23 and welcome back to the Final Fantasy VI Tea Edition. So sit back and enjoy. Alright, welcome back to the base Final Fantasy VI Tea Edition. We did switch from the EX patch back to the base game because I want to show you some stuff. If I did everything correctly, our save from the EX patch should carry over. This is already looking pretty good. So yeah, let's go back here again and back into the base game. Has been a long time. We can see the door has vanished. It's actually interesting. It's actually blocked by this. Okay. Yeah, we can leave through this door here again. And we're back in the developer's room. That's nice. Cool. I doubt they have anything new to say. So let's just check out the art gallery or whatever it is. Was it here? I'm actually not sure where it was. Achievement room is also fine. So yeah, we got every achievement here. Character specific ones are all done. And we also got, I think this is it, right? Extra complete. Completed Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy... Wait a second. Completed Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy Tea Edition, and Final Fantasy Tea Edition EX. So I basically completed the base game, the hack, and the hack of the hack. That's actually funny, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's the achievement we got from doing the EX patch, defeating all the bosses there. This is the one we will get once I enter NGPlus. I hope that does not erase all the other achievements, because I think it does. I don't hope so, though. I hope it carries over. Because it would be nice to see the entire filled achievement room. That would be pretty good. But yeah, I guess the collection room here is it then. First of all, what was here again? That's just the key items you collected. Once again, going through all the memories we made along the way. So you got all of this stuff. Still looks like some iron ingot from Minecraft, but okay. I think it actually is. I think it's actually from Minecraft. That would be funny, but I don't know. And this is the other collection room here with the legendary weapons. There's so much cool stuff in this hack. And also all of this stuff we got from the auction house, so all of this is filled. But yeah, now comes the main attraction of all of this, which is right over here. It is the image gallery. I wonder what we have here. What is this? Ah, I see what we're doing here. So this is the gunblade. Gunblade, Final Fantasy VI, yeah, almost. Final Fantasy VIII. Squall and Cypher use this unconventional weapon, which is essentially a large sword with a built-in gun mechanism. A loaded gunblade doesn't actually fire projectiles. Instead, pulling the trigger causes the blade to vibrate, thereby boosting the effectiveness of an attack. Gunblades appear in other games too, including Final Fantasy XII and Parasite Eve 2. That's actually good. Oh wow, we get outside Final Fantasy references here. That's actually pretty nice. If you're wondering where they appear in Final Fantasy XII, some of the guns there actually resemble gunblades. They actually not use as blades, but they resemble them. That's pretty nice. That's Angelo. Angelo, Final Fantasy VIII. Renoa's shy but loving pet dog Shy, okay. Despite the masculine name, Angelo is female, born on December 13th, okay. That's actually also funny, because I think in the German translation, Angelo is actually called Angel, but there he is male. So they mixed that up a little bit, which is weird. It's some kind of if you know the sprite from Secret of Mana, it's like something like that, where the sprite in Japanese is non-gendered, in English the sprite is male, and in German the sprite is female. In any case, in terms of strength, Angelo is on par with Interceptor from Final Fantasy VI. I would even say Angelo is stronger. Incidentally, the Wishing Star sketch attack included in this ROM hack is based on one of Angelo's classic attacks. Yeah, because of that. Okay, Guido. Nice, even the turned around Guido, that's actually funny. Guido is a 700-year-old sage, and the only one in the world to know X-Death's secret. Guido entrusted the Elder Branch, the key to entering the Great Forest of Moor, to Bart's team. Guido looks like a large turtle. During their first encounter, Bart pokes his head, unaware what the turtle was indeed a sage. Guido's weak to being flipped over. Once on his back, he's unable to get back up. Wow, yeah, every great sage needs to have some kind of weakness, right? Okay, this is actually pretty funny here. Bauko, Final Fantasy V. A chocobo and Bart's best friend. Bowker was separated from his flock before Bards found him. The two end up going on an adventure together. During the story, it's revealed that Bowker has a wife named Coco, and that they are about to become parents. In Final Fantasy IX, the Black Mages raise a baby chocobo named Bobby Carvin, or Bowker for short. Nice. I actually don't recall that, but might be. I haven't played Final Fantasy IX in a long time. Okay, what is this? This looks like Final Fantasy III, maybe? I guess it is. Blood Sword, Final Fantasy II, okay. And this sword's curse drains an enemy's life energy and gives it to its wielder. Its blade is always a dark crimson color. The Blood Sword appears throughout the series, but it is a particularly fierce weapon in Final Fantasy II, oh yeah. That would have made Emperor easy. Because the sword deals percentage-based damage, it can even take down bosses surprisingly quickly. Really? And the Japanese version of Dissidia, Firion shouts blood weapon equipped when activating X mode. That's actually funny. Said weapon is a reference to the blood Swahia Terra O Terra Get by Terra by A to the Levaza remake for Terraku. Okay, I think something didn't really went right here. Okay, this is funny. Said weapon is a reference to the blood sword. Get by someone. Leo and something remake. Okay. De terra the Gestalt don reginter acult was checkmark could terra here var 8 w Gestalt leer Kefka tut ja A68 L K Kanupim tot Leo Wasserema E for mock Earth element could Earth element Bracadura. I think something went wrong here with the translation, but that's funny, okay. Hilda, Final Fantasy II. Hilda is crown princess of the kingdom of Fynn. She takes the reins of the rebellion after her father, the king, is killed. Hilda's exceptional leadership abilities belie her young age and inspire the faith of her people. Hilda's name is referenced in several other Final Fantasy games. These references include Lady Hildegard of Lindblum in Final Fantasy IX, the pub owner of Port Bastorg in Final Fantasy XI, and an airship in Final Fantasy XII. An airship? An airship? Seriously? What airship in Final Fantasy XII? I'm actually not sure which one is... Which one here? Huh, okay. I know there's the Garland. The Garland is, I think, the ship, like, Marcus Ondora uses, I think. But yeah, Hildegard is the first thing I was thinking of when I was thinking about references here. Okay, this is Final Fantasy I, I guess? Crystals, Final Fantasy. Okay, Final Fantasy. The Warriors of Light keep watch over these mysterious artifacts that sustain the world. Although the crystals had lost their light, the defeat of the four fiends of chaos restores their brilliance. The crystals, which serve as a symbol of the Final Fantasy series, debuted in the first game. Each crystal has its own unique glow. This is the Crystal of Fire, incidentally. Okay. Sarah, whatever. Princess of Cornelia. The Warriors of Light rescue her from Garland. She shows great care for them afterwards. Cosmos, the characters in the Dissidia series, is modeled after Sarah. Sarah is also Garnet's real name in Final Fantasy IX. Is that true? Yeah, I think. Yeah, it actually is, right? Yeah. I was thinking whether or not that's only in Final Fantasy, like in the Japanese translation, like Terra is called Tina or so. But yeah, I guess that's true. Once again, Final Fantasy IX has been a long time. Oh, this is funny. Is this Ozma? Blitzball, never mind, it's a Blitzball. Guys, when I grow up, I want to be a Blitzball. Blitzball is the most popular sport in Spira. Unsurprisingly, the sport involves the use of a ball known as a Blitzball. Games take place inside a giant sphere of water, suspended in the air by fireflies. The temples of Yevon officially endorse Blitzball, as it's helpful in banishing thoughts about sin from the people's minds. In the game, Tidus can recruit a variety of Blitzball players, including two men with familiar names, Biggs and Wedge. Okay, nice, we already had that one, okay. Those are Fireflies? Yeah, okay, Firefly. Despite their insect-like name, fireflies are assemblages of life force and not actual living creatures. Fireflies reside in all things and are roughly comparable to spirits or souls. Fireflies are also responsible for giving monsters in Spira their temporary physical forgiving. Wait a second, fireflies are also responsible for giving monsters in Spira their temporary physical forms. This is why monsters burst into fireflies when defeated. That's actually true. Between Josa Temple and Grado Salam lies a massive river known as the Moonflow. The moon lilies that grow along its banks are said to attract countless fireflies when night falls. Okay. Yeah, this is Final Fantasy IX. This is an Oglop. Oglops. Destructive insects that devour plant life. Their oddly charming appearance has made them a fan favorite. Oglops are popular enough to have their own in-game card, and the remains of an Oglop item shop exists in Alexandria. Oglops are also referenced in the Final Fantasy Unlimited anime series. Wow, Final Fantasy Unlimited reference, okay. In one episode, it's revealed that hot salad is made from Marlboro tentacles and served with an Oglop oil dressing, okay. Cool, nice references. Who of you guys knows Final Fantasy Unlimited? Like, it's that weird Final Fantasy anime with the guy that uses a gun to summon monsters. That's actually referenced in Stranger of Paradise, surprisingly. Nice reference. But yeah, crystals, Final Fantasy IX. A crystal in each planet's core produces souls for life forms and recalls those souls when life form dies. When souls return to the crystal stores their memories. This allows the crystal to grow, which in turn allows life on the planet. This allows the crystal to grow, which in turn allows life on the host planet to flourish. When this soul circulation ends, the crystal will stop growing. All activity on the planet will cease. Eventually, the crystal will return to the cosmos. Espers are actually the tangible embodiments of a crystal's stored life memories. Okay. This is Final Fantasy IV. Nemingray, Final Fantasy IV, yeah. A mysterious character who grants people new names, and a distant relative of the Humming Race on the moon. Nemingray has since appeared in several other Final Fantasy games, primarily as a name changer. In the 4 Heroes of Light spin-off, he is a semi-hidden character who can be reached from Liberté at night. Okay. Luca, Final Fantasy IV. The only daughter to the Draven King Geot. Her necklace is the key to a sealed cave that protects the crystal. In the After Years sequel, Luca is an adult who studies engineering as Cid's apprentice. Cool. Final Fantasy III already here? Crystal Tower. Oh, actually the Crystal Tower. That actually sounds right that it is displayed like that in the NES original for Final Fantasy III. That's actually good. The Crystal Tower, also known as Circus Tower, is said to have been built by an ancients with the power of light. Beneath the tower lies a large cavern known as the Forbidden Land of Eureka. Hey, just like in the SEC. Under normal circumstances, the Crystal Tower is tall enough to pierce the heavens. Even after the world is submerged in water, the top of the tower remains above the surface of the ocean. Cool, okay. Who are you? Sarah again. Sarah's the princess of the Sasune Kingdom. After the Jin's curse transforms everyone, she bravely storms the Jin's cavern by herself to save them. After Dauga teleports her to the Crystal Tower, she helps free the heroes of the Worm's curse. In the Nintendo DS release, Sarah aids the party in battle by casting Cure and Arrow spells. That's pretty nice. Oh guys, who are those two? I like that. Oh. Like this guy, like Tsushiy, really is like a spirit partner. Like he actually chooses Cloud's Advent Children outfit, which I strongly prefer. Cloud, Final Fantasy VII. Cloud claims to be a former member of Soldier, but is in fact a low-level grunt in the Shinra army. Wow, that's one way to put it. After being wounded during the Nibelheim incident, Cloud is used as a test subject for the Sephiroth clone project. Following his reunion with Tifa in Midgar, Cloud joins the anti-Shinra organization Avalanche. Then, together with his friends, Cloud sets out on a worldwide journey to put an end to Shinra and Sephiroth once and for all. Cloud has made cameo appearances in a variety of other games. For example, Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, like I said, in Final Fantasy Tactics, for example, Cloud ends up in Ivalice after being swallowed by the livestream. Cool. Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII. A former member of Soldier who was at one time celebrated as a great hero. In truth, however, Sephiroth is a test subject for a terrifying science project. It's revealed that Sephiroth is an artificially created human injected with the cells of an alien life form called Genova. Sephiroth's ultimate goal is to merge with the planet's lifestream to become a god. He attempts to accomplish this by summoning a massive meteor to strike a lethal blow on the planet itself. Okay. I guess we have more stuff here, or what is this? We see as a blank canvas. You can display images you carry deep inside you. So what in my image would you like to transform into? Ooh. Stoic board, guardian board, wizard is... Okay, stoic board, I guess. What do we have here? The blank canvas now displays an artistic image that was buried deep inside your mind. Who this? Ayame, Final Fantasy XI. Okay, that explains it. Ayame is the 4th ranked member of the Mithril Musketeers. Okay, an elite guard that serves as the bus token president. In Nork, Ayame undergoes training as a samurai and eventually becomes the youngest musketeer ever. Ayame's strict sense of self-discipline is reflected in the words, "The katana exists to remain sheath." English. No, not again. Okay, we have like different characters here, okay, I guess. I guess we take a look at all of those pictures now. I think we also unlock those by like beating bosses in the X patch, I guess. Okay, deep inside your mind. Who's this? Okay, another 11 one. Kurilla the 4th McCrew. Final Fantasy XI. Kurilla is the leader of the Sun Dorian Temple Knights. She is considered the finest swordsmaster in the kingdom, and is highly respected by her fellow knights. Kurilla injured her left eye while sparring with Prince Tryon during a previous sword tournament. However, she keeps this fact hidden from those around her. Cool, I guess. Okay, Final Fantasy XI gets an extra treatment. Wizard is Shantotto then, I guess. The only Final Fantasy XI character I really know. Oh yes, baby. Shantotto, Final Fantasy XI. Shantotto is one of the 3 professors of the Federation of Windurst. As a former minister of the Orrery, she whips Ajido Marujido into shape to become the current minister. Yeah, those are so Final Fantasy XI names. Or as Hivon Bivon of Magic Paradise Weekly describes Shantotto by saying, "She is as highly and mighty as Utunga's fiery mountain, and as rough-cut as the rocky Gustaberg ranges regions." Okay, I like that it also rhymes. Makes sense for her. Cool, we have more here. And another list, okay, this will take some time. Who's this? Lion, Final Fantasy XI. Lion is a human female from Nork who investigates the activities of the Beastmen and Shadow Kindred. She possesses a strong will and a cheerful personality. Together with Aldo of the Tenshondo, the Dark Knight Zaid and the adventurer Lion eventually face off with the great evil that has operated from the shadows for 10,000 years. How about that? Let's add 1 0, I guess. Okay. Duelist board. We probably also get Priscia, the other Final Fantasy XI character I know. There we go, speaking of her, Prish, Final Fantasy XI. Prish is an elven girl who lives in the Tavnasian Safehold and studies theology. For certain dogmatic reasons, she was previously locked away in Tavnasian Cathedral as the Abhorrent One. For a time, Prish defended the citizens as one of the Safehold's patrol leaders. After meeting the adventurer, she eventually gets caught up in the conflict surrounding the Keeper of the Apocalypse. I think the adventurer is actually the player character, right? Could that be? Sounds generic enough. Okay. But yeah, now Shantauto and Prish, of course, from Dissidia. And Shantauto also from World of Final Fantasy. So I guess that's where I got that knowledge from. Okay, who are you? Aphmo, Final Fantasy XI. Aphmo, aka the Royal Puppeteer, is a pure-hearted puppet master who serves Empress Nashmeira II. She is accompanied by her automaton friends Nyen Ying and Ovyang. In truth, Aphmo is none other than Nashmeira herself, the 16th Empress of At-Urgas Majap Dynasty. Okay? Names, guys, names. However, the actual reins of government lie in the hands of her vizier and older brother, Resford. While pursuing the astral Kendescence and a pirate ship, Aphmo learns the truth about the Empire. Together with the adventurer and the pirate Luzav, Aphmo sets out to prevent a Ragnarok war from occurring. Okay. Names and terms I've never heard before, but okay. Okay, only those are left, okay. Final Fantasy XI really gets a treatment here, right? Maybe it's for the expansions or so, I'm not sure. Lily Z, Final Fantasy XI. Lily Z is an elegant dancer and member of Troupe Mayakov, a highly regarded dance group in past Vanadiel. As a particularly popular dancer, she's commonly referred to as the Moonshade Butterfly. Lily Z hopes to save her father by going back in time. Okay. Thus, just like the adventurer, she has eventually traveled 20 years into the past. At first, she pursues Kate Sith, a mysterious being that might hold the secrets of past Vanadiel. Eventually, however, she and the adventurer are caught up in the battle surrounding the light future and the dark future. Okay. Interesting. Princess board. I think that also means Final Fantasy XIII does not get any representation here. Okay, who do we have here? Arciela the fifth Ardulin, okay. Arcila, I think Arcila, is the younger sister of Ignas, the Grand Chancellor of the Sacred City of Ardulin. In front of others, Arcelia carries the air of neatness, modesty, and elegance. Her hidden, take-charge spirit, however, leads her to act on her own, including investigating a forbidden forest. As a direct descendant of the first king, Arcila belongs to one of the 12 orders. Even so, the people respect her and call her princess anyway. After the adventure arrives from the Middle Lands, Arcila eventually pursues the mystery of the Ulbukan continent. Okay. Don't we all pursue the secrets of the Ulbukan continent, guys? What? You don't do that? That's kind of surprising. We have the Sprouting bot at the last one here. Ba, 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 ba. Woo. It's a Mandragora. Nice. Final Fantasy XI. No, that's okay. Technically, that's another character I know from 11. Actually, 12. I encountered those guys in 12 first, but I know that they come from from Final Fantasy XI. A mobile sentient plant commonly found in the Saruta Baruta region. Between their clothing, habitat, and non-verbal form of communication, Mandragoran civilization is wholly unique. Mandragoras could be considered the mascot of Final Fantasy XI, but they sometimes appear in other games too. Final Fantasy XII? Yeah, such releases include Final Fantasy XII, the Shikkusu Dungeon series, and the Dissidia Final Fantasy series. Cool, okay, I leave it with the Mandragora here. Yeah, I guess that's really it, right? I think we did take a look at all the pictures here, which is nice. I guess that's also our confirmation that we actually did defeat all the X-bosses. You probably get, like, one batch of pictures here from defeating one boss. For example, here this would be X-Death, of course. This is Ultimecia. And this is Sephiroth, of course, and so on and so forth. Like some Final Fantasies actually did have 2 bosses, so that's a little bit weird. Like 11 had 2 bosses, that would make sense. And I guess the other one is from the second Final Fantasy IV boss, let's say Golbez, for example. What was this again? You have information about this room. What is this room? Painting look weird. Display, try inspecting the suits of armor near the room's end. Okay. What happens if I... Okay, what happens if I take a look at the armor? Turn the... Yeah? Ooh. Okay. Okay, we changed the background, that's funny. You can actually see the frame here. Okay, so... That's interesting, okay. Blue? Okay, blue also works. Okay, this is funny. Okay. What happens if I activate both? Some kind of secret color? No, nothing, okay. Okay, that was funny. Cool. Music player doesn't do anything, that's just for EX patch or so, or the developers room, right? Which means, yes guys, we are practically done here. We are done. It's time to get sentimental, guys. But yeah, of course, one like final thing we need to do is we need to enter a NGPlus, so let's do that. But yeah, technically, we're done here. Of course, that would mean we need to go through the entire intro again, but I think that's fine. Let me just take a look. I don't have to save, right? I can just start a new game. NGPlus. NGPlus will allow you to restart the adventure with your current stats and items. Begin a NGPlus game. NGPlus game is also a word. Okay. Let's do this and see what happens. I guess if anything, I need to make it back to the, Oh, this doesn't... I have backup, so... If anything weird happens, that should be fine. Okay, we go through the intro here again. But yeah, I do have, like, copies of my save files and everything, so nothing is lost. But yeah, we need to make it back to the, what is it called? Not Adventurer Guild. What is the name of the house? Beginner's Hall. We need to get back to the Beginner's Hall, right? To take a look at the final achievement. Which means we need to go through the intro again. What does carry over? I think my level does carry over, so enemies should be absolute pushovers. But yeah, it will take some time anyways. But yeah, guys, I think I can use this time to recap a little bit on the adventure and the Final Fantasy VI Tier Edition as a whole. Final Fantasy VI Tier Edition, I already did say it, but this hack is absolutely amazing. It is just a great hack in general. It does do a lot of amazing stuff. It does not reinvent the wheel completely. It is basically Final Fantasy VI Plus with a lot of extra stuff you always wished for, you could have in the base game. So if you want to get more of your Final Fantasy VI, this is absolutely the hack for it. Which is absolutely fine. It is done very, very, very well. Like, there's a lot of new and interesting cool stuff there. The stuff that was already in the game has been tweaked a little to better match the new changes and everything, which is also absolutely great. It's just Final Fantasy at its best, basically. I did already say so during the credits when we were viewing the credits of this game. But it is really the best like Final Fantasy VI in particular also can be, I think. I think that was very apparent with the EX bosses we fought. I think, like the EX bosses we fought, there's nothing higher that you can do with base Final Fantasy VI. Like, the EX bosses did, like, basically present at the peak that the combat system of Final Fantasy VI is capable of. Like, if you want to go even further, if this hack wanted to go any further, they would have to include some stuff that, like, includes entirely new mechanics or, like, entirely new twists to the boss battle. For example, a boss battle where if you apply negative statuses on your characters, that boss does get the negative statuses, and you need to work with that. Or you need to you need to include some mechanics. For example, stuff like that Final Fantasy X has, where you need to change your position of your characters or so to avoid certain attacks. Like something like that to like go even beyond what we did experience here in the X patch. But when it comes to Final Fantasy VI, like base Final Fantasy VI, this like absolutely uses everything the game has to great effect, and the simple fact that it actually just uses it is actually pretty great. It does use it pretty well. The game, like the creator, did really understand what Final Fantasy VI is all about, I would say. And he definitely made the most of it. That's pretty great. The new additions, of course, are also all pretty great. There's nothing that is like dumb or so, or like tedious or so. It's just more of Final Fantasy VI, and that's basically how you can sum up everything. It's more Final Fantasy VI if you ever wanted to experience more Final Fantasy VI. This is definitely your game. Like my only real critique would be maybe Emperor, who felt a little bit out of place because for how strong he was, but even then, there's a strategy to everything. That's also something that's like super great. There's like a strategy for everything. Like occasionally you do hit some brick walls. Stuff I recall was Kefka in the beginning during the Esper defense sequence here in Narshe. Kefka was pretty strong. Ultima Weapon on the floating continent. And some, like Bahamut, for example. But all of those bosses are also like significant bosses, so it's not like random boss that's suddenly disproportionately strong. It's made in a way that like the appropriate bosses are appropriately strong. I do keep my magic here, by the way, and okay, that's interesting. I do keep my magic, but I don't keep my levels, okay? So I need to take a little bit of attention here. But yeah, Final Fantasy VI edition, to make matters fast and short, it's great. It's absolutely great. Definitely recommend this hack. I had a lot of fun doing this. You can also really tell that this is a hack made by someone who really likes the Final Fantasy franchise. Like this hack really oozes like the love for the Final Fantasy franchise. It's amazing. Like when we were reading all of those paintings, you could really tell, because like there are references to everything everywhere, and I absolutely do feel that. Like I'm that kind of guy myself, so it's nice to know that there's like another crackhead like me there in the world who really likes the franchise as much as I do. I wanted to heal her. That's weird. I haven't used Magitech armor in a long time. But yeah, it's absolutely great. Final Fantasy XVI edition is a hack I wholeheartedly recommend. It's really great. The new items as well also were not like completely out of place. They did fit into the normal gameplay. Nothing felt super broken. You had some leeway with certain strategies. In my case, I primarily used Celis, Terra, Gaugao, but I can also see that other character strategies are also super viable. So that's also great. And that's actually how it should be, that you have a lot of strategies you can use for the bosses in a Final Fantasy game. That's of course just what you want from a Final Fantasy game. It's great. Period. The new music tracks occasionally were also, of course, nice. Of course, some were a little bit more hit, some were a little bit more miss, but in general, everything was sounding pretty nice. I'm actually not sure what I just targeted with Bioblast. I think, yeah, the single one. And one thing I also really liked, that's also something I already did say, but I really liked that throughout the entire playthrough I did change my strategies. I did not just stick to one strategy from beginning to end. Like at some point I was using Go, at some point I was using like more physical attacks, at some point I was using completely different Espers. Valigamanda I used at some point, then at some point I switched over to Ultima instead of Espers, and like the thing that there's also some like evolution inside the gameplay is also really great. Also something not all games do. That's pretty good. That way the game keeps you engaged, keeps you on your toes. It's pretty good. And once again, this hack is an absolute testimony how awesome like fans are, like to like basically all video game franchises. Because like it's just a single dude who made all of this, guys. It's just a single dude who made all of this, and like you can see how much passion it oozes. It's great. No, actually not. Thank you. I can save now. I actually don't want to save, but if I died, that would also be pretty bad. I don't die, guys. Oh, I can... Oh, that's actually funny. Oh, maybe I only have those levels during the initial sequence here. Because Terra is not Terra right now, and Veg and Biggs did not really have time to gain levels. Wait a second. Here, that's much better. Okay. There we go. That should make matters easier. Can I also equip relics? Yeah, of course I can. Here, Tyner and something fast. I could also get Brave Ring. Nah. More HP, okay. They not also have to do the entire like Moogle sequence and everything. Oh, guys. I think Bioblaster doesn't work against those guys. But hey, we can do this victory lap, right? Until we reach the beginner's hall again. Let's make a speedrun out of this. Yeah, level ups. Okay, let me through, please. We need to defeat Ymir again. No, it shouldn't take too long, right? I also got the good equipment for the Moogle sequence, so that should also be a cakewalk. Ugh. Can I flee? Please tell me I can flee. Oh, look how they flee, that's actually funny. Okay, did never flee with the Magitech suit on. Nice. Magitech armor. Ymir, get him. A normal boss theme. When was the last time I did hear that one? It's been a long time since I last did hear that. My personal favorite of the like remixes, ports of music here in T edition was definitely Fight with Seymour. That was pretty great, I would say. Tech missile here. Yeah, he kept healing himself. Oh no, you're gonna get hit because he did take too much damage. Maybe I would even be able to... Nah, maybe I would even be able to defeat the Husk. That would be funny. Let's make a challenge out of this. Veggie Veggie, or whatever Terra called it, like Veg did tell us. Veggie Veggie or so. Like in the developer's room. Ah, come on. Rock! I think Terra might even be able to handle this alone. Boom. Does he really have that much HP? I did not recall that. 2 damage and I heal 12, nice. Ah, come on fast before it's too late, okay. And there we go, nice. The twists the old bosses had were also pretty great. Like a really a commendable hack, guys. I also must say I'm also more of a fan of hacks that like do not try to reinvent the wheel and make a completely different game out of the game they're hacking. I like it. I like my hacks more when they are closer to the base game and like try to add new stuff and new twists to that game. Which is alive again, which is funny. But yeah, that's also a reason why I particularly like this hack here. I should have a speed up button ready, but I don't have one. Also, Biggs and Wedge get teleported to different Final Fantasy universes now. It has been a long time since we last had cutscenes in the game, right? Of course, the story for this is kind of secondary, like excluding the new stuff, of course. But, yeah. We also need to comment how, like, inoffensive the new stuff is. Like, it does not, like, add any weird, incredible fanfiction to it, which might be distracting to someone. But rather it, like, sticks to its gun, makes some slight new things, like, add some slight new things to the characters, but nothing, like, incredibly major or so. Like, it's reserved in the right areas, I would say. Also, let's call Terra... I have big letters. Let's call Terra Tina for the second playthrough. Like, different universe and everything. Doesn't really matter anyways. I just want to get to the beginner's house, please. I wonder, someone who's watching this, Sunday in episode 100 something, guy is at the beginning of the game. What did he do the other episodes? But nah. Of course, I'm not playing through the entirety of New Game Plus here. I will just go through that and then that's it. I will not like make another second playthrough of this. Okay, theoretically, if you play New Game Plus, I did already tell you, but you could get multiple copies of powerful items. You could get another Omega weapon, for example. You could get another pair, not another pair, but another set of legendary weapons, and other stuff too. Can we please go? No? Oh, she counters. Okay, you don't want it any other way? Okay. Well, that was nice, actually pretty good. Thank you. Ignoring all the chests, maybe this time I pick them up in World of Ruin. Nah. Block. And the hack also did replace some enemies here and there with new enemies. That's also pretty neat. For example, those ghost enemies, all the like plumber kind of goblin enemies do not appear in this hack here. Which is very noticeable in this area of the game, because there's only 3 types of enemies here. The rare red, like the plumber guy, whatever he's called, and the ghost guy. I should have de-equipped Tina. Oh, we also got the flashback where like Kefka is like making Terry eradicate all the soldiers, right? Oh yeah. It's so weird to hear all the standard Final Fantasy VI music again. It's so weird. Of course, one thing I need to praise here is, of course, the translation of the Final Fantasy VI edition. The translation by Tomato that I've been using. Soldier, okay. That's weird, okay. But yeah, the translation, of course, was also good. I can imagine that it is very complicated to make, first of all, the translation for like the Japanese version of the game. You need to like maybe implement a different character set that actually fits into like the Japanese characters or so. And then of course on top of that you also need to make that for a hack of a game, which means that there have been some modifications made to the base ROM and you cannot use any references or so anymore. So that's also highly commendable. So thank you, Tomato, for making this translation of this hack possible. Or even at all. That's good. Because otherwise you really need to imagine that all of this would be in Japanese. This entire hack would just be stuck in like in Japan, in the Japanese language, which would render it kind of inaccessible to non-Japanese speaking players, of course. And especially in a game like this, where like really you need to read the names of abilities and the text. I think lock in Japanese is lock. So yeah, the translation is very important for this hack, of course. They did already also mention this, but the thing also still is, I've basically played an old version of T Edition here, because I didn't find like the new one. The new one is a little bit more hidden in the internet than the version I found here. There's a newer version of T Edition which at least does like a couple of changes. Nothing major, I think, but for example, in the newest available version for T Edition, like different outfits for the characters do not modify the stats a character has. And they are purely cosmetic, which I think might be better, might be not better, who knows. But that's one of the major changes that has. And yeah, other than that, I don't really know. There's also more updated translation. There's a LUA translation, for example. And some other more refined translations that also fix some other stuff. There are also like multiple patches that come with that translation that also enhance the game or so. That's stuff I haven't bothered with. Or didn't really, because I didn't really know it existed before I like was already in the game here. Also, I did not want to hear that explanation. Thank you. But yeah, in any case, the game was good as it is. Like even like this, like I could hardly imagine that like anything more would like enhance the game so dramatically that I think it's even better than it already is. It's just great, and that's all you need to know, basically. No matter which version you play, unless you maybe play the like very initial version of this, but who does that? It's great. It's great, it's great, it's great, and play it, guys. I also find it funny that I found some like certain like bugs here, for example, that I can like equip Meridivot and then equip Taina, for example. That's funny. You know, I just need to be careful not to die here, but that shouldn't be much of an issue. One thing I'm also wondering, seeing the damage output from Lightbringer right now, I wonder how much easier, if any, the EX patch bosses were if I was fighting them with level 99 characters. I wonder if that had a different dramatic effect or not. For example, like if Emperor would have been more easy. Because I still think that like level in Final Fantasy VI here does have a huge impact on like everything pretty much. So it might actually have made a big difference if I had like 30 plus more levels on my characters. But hey, we will never know. Oh, another thing I need to mention. One thing, oh, that's also something I haven't told you yet. And let me do it right away if I don't get thrown into the next encounter. But when I was going through like some notes that came with the translation and everything in order to find something out about Emperor, I did actually read some interesting stuff. And the interesting stuff I did read was here, battle speed, guys. And battle speed. Battle speed. So I did already tell you that, and you could probably notice by now, that the Final Fantasy VI T Edition does modify the ATB system of Final Fantasy VI a little bit. In a sense that it is more like Final Fantasy V, where the bar does pause when certain actions get executed. And I'm not sure or not whether or not that affects like the battle speed or not, but apparently the thing is, if I go beyond 3 on the scale here, like so if I either choose 1 or 2, it does not speed up my ATB bar of my characters, it only speeds up the ATB bar of the enemies. So basically, whether or not that's true, like depending on that, I might have played a super hard version of this because I put myself at a disadvantage by putting the battle speed to 1, which did speed up all the enemies in comparison to my party. Like 3 would have been like the highest that I could have, so that like characters and enemies probably were at the same speed, and like this is just handicapping myself. So that's interesting to know. Luckily I found that out like at the very end of this playthrough. I guess I would have done this anyways, but nice to know that I can do it like this, if it's even true. I cannot really confirm because I haven't played on like a different battle speed. But hey, apparently that's a thing. So yeah, I basically played super hard mode of T Edition. I also want to give myself a pat on the back because I haven't seen anyone else defeating the X-bosses, at least on YouTube, with a level other than 99. So I'm a cool guy. I guess. Also, I will only do this with Locke now. I don't think I need the other ones. The Muggles can take a nap. Well, at least Mocklin is holding on, but not any longer. I think it's actually the armor that prevents that much damage, not the protect and shell effect. But hey, Locke is pretty much indestructible right now. Next one in line, thank you. Don't worry guys, you all get served. The thing with the like faster enemies would also explain one thing that I always complained about, that I wasn't really able to make a combat. Enemies were always so relentless. Maybe that could explain it. Like if I had like haste on my characters and the enemies had like their normal speed instead of the like battle speed 1 speed, I would have been more able to keep up with reviving characters and would have had a much easier time all around. But hey, I did it like this, so that's fine. Oh, I don't hope that's bad. That could be a little bit of a problem, but we will see. Nah, I should be fine. They will not be able to kill me. Tusk. Why does the Silver Lobo use Tusk? Okay. Yeah, guys, sure thing. It's not like I've... Oh no, oh no. I think that, yeah, ignores it. Yeah, okay. Can I please do something? Okay, Tusk again. I'm gonna take this guy now. Because this guy can stop me, which is nasty. I cannot cast something of significance right now, right? I don't have enough MP for that. How much HP does the guard leader have? 500 or so? I hope not. I hope one more strike is enough to kill him. Nope. But yeah, I can pretty much not die here. Oh, come on, dude. If you use net again, I'm gonna be mad. 500? Yeah, okay. It also takes care of the dogs, nice. Good, 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 good. Sorry, Mocklin, Mockred, and Moggy. But I really didn't care about protecting you guys. Alright, and come on. Speed up, Locke. You're always so fleet-footed. Come on, now it's the time to be fast. Guys, I really need to appreciate the sprite art of Final Fantasy VI again. Like, not just the new one, but also like the general Final Fantasy VI sprite art. It's so great. Definitely about the, like, among the best stuff the SNES ever offered. And like, even nowadays, one of the best, like, pixel art styles I have ever seen. It's so great. Alright, can we please go to the beginner's hall now? It's all I ever wanted. Like, it's basically like doing the bombing mission in Final Fantasy VII first. before you can go to the beginner's hall. Also, this guy would surely tell me what it is. School for a beginner. Yeah. Can I please get inside now? I cannot read anything here. What are you called? What do you call yourself? Beginner's house. Okay. In Final Fantasy VII, it's the beginner's hall. And this is a house, actually. Okay, secret room. Over here. Oh, this is funny. They all have animations now. Oh, this is funny. Is that... Must be because of... New Game Plus. Or... Okay, either that's because of New Game Plus, guys. Or that's because all of the characters have their default outfits on again. Yeah, this is funny. Okay, that's cool. Nice. And here, there we go, guys. And those also have an animation now. Or maybe that's because I got all the achievements. Look at this. Last one was Leo. Look at him. Time Traveler began a New Game Plus game. What a New Game Plus game. Cool. Nice. Oh, that's cool. So I also got all the achievements. That is very, very nice. I had a phenomenal time with this. Oh yeah, I cannot enter this. I had a phenomenal time with this. Was definitely one of the best, in general, hacks I ever played. Cool. I also just generally like that basically every Final Fantasy game at this stage has like some kind of... and I always like to use New Thread as a base. New Thread like hack, in this case it's Final Fantasy VI Edition. Final Fantasy XII has Struggle for Freedom. Final Fantasy VII has New Thread. Final Fantasy VIII I think has Ragnarok. Final Fantasy IX also had something. I'm happy that's the thing. Final Fantasy X also got one Speed Bird mod and Master Challenge even too. That's super nice. Final Fantasy fans are great. I mean, look at this stuff, guys. How can you not appreciate your fandom if they do stuff like this? Cool. If I were a game developer and someone would do that for my game, I would be absolutely honored. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's actually it. Do you want to be here or do we want to be in the other room? I think this is with all our characters we came to love, we came to appreciate throughout this. Let me quickly recap again. Terra was absolute MVP. Locke was nice for stealing, but I think I underutilized him. He could have done more. I think a Recalcum would have been a key for him, if I used like a Recalcum with him more, and actually did understand Recalcum more. Sabin was also underutilized, but he also had too few MP, I think, for my tastes. Edgar was absolutely amazing, especially late game. He turned out to be an absolute invaluable asset. Umaru was pretty nice. I like him a lot. And he also did prove his worth. Gaugao was amazing. Still the best character in the game, if you ask me, because of his sheer versatility. Maybe not as good as Terra and Cells, but among the best. Strago, I was a little bit of a letdown. He just had too few HP to meta, pretty much, but old guy at least was able to take a break. And Gao was also amazing. You could also have used him more, I think. I could have used him more if I had like invested more time in like reading up all his wages and putting them to better use. Mok was also a little bit on the weak side. Like he did not do anything outstanding. Like his stances were not really all that good, and later Animal was also not really cutting it, I would say. Celis was amazing. Zetsa did bring down Humbaba, so that's a plus point, and also Fixed Dice was pretty nice. I never tried Fixed Dice against the EX bosses, but he might also have been pretty good. Realm was also kind of outclassed by Terra and Celis, which is sad. Cyan also kind of outclassed here and there, but I could see some uses for him. And Shadow is also a character I could have maybe used more, because Interceptor counters are pretty nice. But yeah, overall it's a great hack. If you haven't played Final Fantasy XVI Edition, play Final Fantasy XVI Edition. My thanks go to Tsushiy, who made the hack, and Tomato, who made the translation for the hack. Once again, the links you can find in the video description. By this point, I might also have already updated the descriptions in general, because, like I said, I did find a different translation for that, and like also like different resources for T Edition, so I might want to revise the descriptions for this project and put additional resources in them. So it's definitely worth to check out the descriptions under the videos if you are interested in knowing more about T Edition and the like. But yeah, the things I used were the hack by Tsushiy and the translation by Tomato. So particular thanks go to those two, and of course all the other ones that like also did translation for this and did some patches for this hack and everything else. It's an amazing work here and cannot be appreciated enough, I think. But yeah, guys, that's it. That was Final Fantasy VI T Edition. That's all of me, Max23. See you in the next project, whatever that may be.